Welcome to another Financially Fabulous episode. I'm Limor, and while I'm not a financial planner, I'll show you what I've learned. Today I'm going to be talking about how to access free money from your employers, and my friend Kate's going to be joining me. Come on, this will be fabulous. So many people are curious about how to get free money from their employers. And I've got my friend Kate from the YouTube channel Fun&Fulfilled here to talk about it with me today. Thanks so much for joining.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I know this is a question that you and a lot of your followers and even my followers end up asking me about. It's like, how do I get some of that free money? So I'm super pumped to talk about it today.
Yeah, I think the real question is what is this free money? How do matching programs work? What are, the constraints around it? And how do you even find out if your company offers it? So maybe we start with that.
Yeah.
How do people even find out whether this is a benefit that they can tap into?
So you'll actually be surprised to know a lot of medium-sized companies and most large-sized companies have this. And so when you get a new job and you get like a stack of files from HR, usually they stick it in there. And I don't know why. It's always filled with so much jargon. And so if you got a stack of papers and you haven't taken a look at them, you can just go talk to the HR department within your organization. There's usually someone that you can speak to, and sometimes they have a 1-800 number. And what I seriously encourage you to do is ask as many questions as you can. And there's nothing wrong with saying like, hey, I'm new to the company. I don't know how it works, because you want to make sure that you understand the nuances. Every single company's program is really, really different.
So what are some of the more common matching programs? Do they have to do with actually investing in retirement savings or things like that? I've heard of that happening in most large companies I've worked at.
Yeah, so there's a number of different kinds. You're absolutely right. One of the ones that's more popular is matching of retirement. And basically, let's think about it this way. The company wants to incentivize you to put money in your retirement fund. So essentially what they usually allow you to do is put a percentage of your salary, so 1% or 2% or 3%, it's usually in that range. It can be a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but if you put in 3% of your salary, what the company will often do is match that portion. So that's why we actually talk about it as free money. So if, let's say, I'm making $100,000 just because the numbers are super easy, and 3% I could put in my retirement plan and they will match that. So if I put in $3,000, the company will put in $3,000. That's why we call it matching. That's also why you can hear it sometimes talked about as 100% return on investment. But the biggest thing that I hear is like, oh, it's so complicated. I don't understand it. As well as like, I'm not really planning to be with the company that long. That's a really big one that I hear. It's like, oh, maybe I'll be here for 2 years. What's the point? Why should I start to invest? And then before you know it, it's been maybe 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, and you've missed out on all that free money along the way.
And I think also, some companies will have a vesting period.
Yes.
But, in some cases that could be relatively short. I don't know if you want to go into that.
I'll explain kind of what it means. So basically the portion, so not your own money, the part that you put in, your first $3,000, you can tap into that and you can usually get that at any point in time, depending on what you invested in, right? So if you locked it into something, you may not be able to access it. But the amount of money that the company is putting in, so their $3,000, every company will have a different vesting schedule. And what that means is how long is that money in there before you can access it.
So locked, pretty much.
Locked in. And some companies will have like a one-time fixed vesting schedule that says like, okay, once you've been with the company for 2 years, if you leave at 2 years and 1 day, no problem, you can take your money with you. If you live at 4 years, you can take your money with it. Some companies actually have a rolling vesting schedule so that if they match $3,000 this year and it's 2 years later, you can take that out. But next year's, you'll have to wait 2 years from when they match that. So that's, I think, a piece that can be a little bit tricky for people to know.
One thing that I find to be great about a program like this is that the money in most cases, at least in my experience, is taken out right away. So it's taken off your paycheck, which helps in terms of your own budgeting. You won't necessarily be tempted to spend it and then at the end of the month be looking to try to kind of find those 3% and then invest them somewhere. In your experience, has it generally been operates that way where it's actually taken off the top?
Huge. It's always taken off the top. And the cool thing is, if you're actually contributing to your retirement fund, depending on how large the company is, they'll actually often take the money pre-tax.
Okay.
So for contributing to your retirement funds, I know it's this way in Canada and the US. Obviously, if you put money into your retirement fund after you've paid taxes, it can be a tax offset, or it can allow you to get some money back through a refund at your tax time. But if you do it directly through your company, the money is taken before your tax. So actually your money starts to work a bit harder for you.
Okay. And I guess you're actually starting to earn returns. Say you get paid every 2 weeks, you'd be starting to earn returns every 2 week period when that additional sort of investment takes place. Is that right?
So that's
versus a one-time.
That's actually why you'll hear a lot of times when it's like time to put your money in your retirement, they always say do it on an ongoing basis so that you'll start to get those returns right away. They also talk about it as like offsetting, like sometimes you might buy when it's higher or sometimes you might buy when it's lower, but if you're buying every couple of weeks, then it kind of offsets and evens out the price. But not even to worry too much about that. The important thing is, exactly like Kate said, hello, you'll be getting free money and you don't even have to worry about it, because if the money comes off your paycheck every single month or every 2 weeks when you get paid, you're not going to miss it, right? That brings me to my tweetable today. You won't miss the money that you don't have. So if the money's being put right away into the account, all of a sudden at the end of the year, you check and you're like, whoa, where did that balance come from? You've been putting money aside on a regular basis. Your company's been matching money for you. It's a really, really great way to have your retirement or your saving funds grow.
And it's, breaking into small pieces. I know that's something that you preach, which is, micro goals and making things easier to actually achieve on a shorter term basis. So if every paycheck, every 2 weeks, 3% of your salary is getting off the top, like your tweetable money that you're not necessarily going to miss, think about how much that could really accumulate over time.
It's going to totally compound and you're really, really not going to miss it. And it is. Sometimes you can top up with your year-end bonus too. So that's another popular thing. When you get your year-end bonus, sometimes you can fill out a form in advance that allows you to take some of that money and put it straight into your year-end bonus.
Yeah,
so,
without being taxed. So something else to think about.
Yeah, especially if it's going right into your retirement fund is a great way to think about it. So lots of little nuances, and every single program is different. Every single program is different. Every single company is different. But essentially, if there's free money to be had, hello, why don't you be financially fabulous and go out and do it? I know that those forms are filled with jargon. I know that it may take a little bit of persistence, but my challenge to each of you is, if you haven't been taking advantage of the matching program, start by going to your HR, finding out what's the 1-800 number, giving them a call, finding out how you can take advantage of this program and how you can start to get free money. And then if you are already set up, that is awesome, but make sure that you're maximizing it. You're getting all the free money. It's the best way to get some extra cash in your pocket. So we hope that you liked this video and that you learned something. Love it if you would subscribe to my channel. And if you've got any questions for either myself or Kate, leave them in the comments below. Also, I'll link up Kate's channel. And I would recommend you come on over to limor.money, where you can learn about all kinds of elements of becoming financially fabulous. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Till then, stay fabulous.
On, semi-annual? Sorry, bi-weekly? Every 2 weeks?
Every paycheck, depending on how you're structured.
Okay.